Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with the Tech Rundown, and iOS 27 Beta 5 has been out for one day, and in this video, I'm going to go over my favorite features in iOS 27 Developer Beta 5, and I'm also going to talk about when to expect the next beta as well. Now, iOS 27 Developer Beta 5 doesn't bring a ton of features, but it does bring some nice noticeable features. The first one has to do with the new icon preview. There is a new preview icon, and that is one of my favorite changes within iOS 27 Beta 5. If we go into preview, I don't know if I went into it in my What's New video. You have a feature that you've had on the iPad, a magnifier feature. Not sure why they couldn't add that before, and I'm also not sure what its purpose is, but that's a new change as well. And you also have, the app also looks new in light mode as well. You also have an update to the settings, remote, and app store icons, but those icons are hard to tell the difference, with the exception of preview is the only one that's easy to notice. And there's also a slight update to Safari, but again, a change that's definitely hard to tell. Now, if I go into my settings, within general, software updates, within about, you can see we now have the last install date. So this now says installed yesterday. It now tells you the last time you installed a software update. That's a new change within iOS 27 Developer Beta 5. A feature that I think is really helpful. If we go into search, you now have an option to not suggest apps. So when you go to Spotlight Search and you suggest apps, you can now turn that off. You can say, don't suggest apps. And if you go into Spotlight Search, it won't suggest anything. And if I type in why, it will autocorrect to YouTube. If I don't want it to suggest anything, I don't have to have it suggest anything. However, if I wanted to only suggest 4 apps, I can only have it suggest 4 apps. If I also wanted to suggest 8 apps, I can have it suggest 8 apps as well. I have total customizable, or control rather, over this feature. If you don't want it to suggest anything, you don't have to have it, or you can choose between 8 or 4 apps. I think that's a really nice feature within iOS 27 Developer Beta 5. There's also a change on the iPad that's worth noting. And while initially it may be harder to see, there is a change on the iPad. So if I screenshot here, and we go ahead and crop the screenshot, as you can see here on the iPad, we now have the battery percentage within the battery itself. That is a new feature in iPadOS 27. If you remember back in iOS 16, when Apple gave the battery icon, put the battery percentage within the icon, initially I thought Apple did that because of room space on iPhones, but it seems like Apple could have did that on the iPad, but they never thought about it until 4 years later. But I'm glad it's here now on the iPad. So that is a nice change within iPadOS 27. As far as any other features, well, those are pretty much the main features in iOS 27 Beta 5. Leave a comment down below if I missed any features. This is the first beta that brings a couple of nice, noticeable features worth mentioning. Of course, they're all worth mentioning, but Beta 1 initially brought a lot of features. Beta 2, Beta 3, and Beta 4 brought a couple features, but mainly were for Apple Intelligence. If you have Apple Intelligence and you go to your options for Siri, unfortunately, my iPhone 14 doesn't support Apple Intelligence, though if you do, you will have options for expressive voice with more options. So more voices will be able to utilize the expressive voice. I wish my device supported Apple Intelligence so that I can show this to you guys. But unfortunately, the device I have does not support that feature. You will need the newest iPhone or an iPhone 15 Pro or later to get that new feature within Apple Intelligence. Now, as far as the next update from Apple, I would expect iOS 27 Beta 6 next week around August 17th with public Beta 4. Also, I would expect Beta 7 with public Beta 5 around the 24th. However, that's not the only thing I would expect around the 24th. Around August 24th, I would expect invites for the iPhone 18 event. However, do keep in mind, we're not going to get the regular iPhone 18 this year. I know that sounds kind of strange. We're going to get the iPhone 18, iPhone 18e, and iPhone Air 2nd generation in the first quarter of 2027. We are not going to get the iPhone 18 this year. We're going to get that next year. What we are going to get this year, however, is the iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, and Apple's new, first of its kind, never seen before iPhone Fold. We're going to get a folding iPhone from Apple this year. We're going to get it in September. That is what the invites I would expect are for, with a event possibly on the 7th or 8th, depending on whenever it is. iOS 27 RC, formerly Golden Master, will release shortly after as well, with pre-orders on the 11th. The final release of iOS 27 on the 14th, with the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max and the new Fold getting released on September 18th. So as far as anything else, that's it for my favorite features within iOS 27 Beta 5. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, if you want to get this wallpaper, this is an AI-generated wallpaper. So if I go into my YouTube channel here, and I go click on the link to the Tech Rundown Wallpaper Pack, I have a bunch of new wallpapers. This is an AI-generated wallpaper. These were all generated. So if you want to get your hands on these wallpapers, I generated these myself using AI. They are not copyrighted. They are completely generated images. Obviously, I would not post them on this website or in my Google Drive and have the link to the Google Drive if they were not generated. So these are all AI generated wallpapers. Leave a comment down below. What do you think of these wallpapers? I wanted to try something different than the plain simple colors I've been using, that I've been making in Canva. So leave a comment down below. What do you think of these wallpapers? Definitely leave a comment down below in my community. So if you don't know how to access my community, it's right here on my YouTube channel. I do post a lot of different posts, so if you want to go into my community and definitely put the wallpapers or screenshot your home screen and post it in my community with the wallpaper, then you definitely can do that. And definitely comment down below, what do you think of these wallpapers? If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Mr. Hawkins with the Tech Rundown, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.